But what happens sometimes is, when you play that finesse game, you don't look so good and you look like a dial of, but they turn into a beautiful symphony, a beautiful ballet out there, just crossing and dropping, making plays. The Leafs are back, man. The core four has been activated and they're about to steal another one in Tampa Bay. I don't know what the John Cooper press conference is going to look like, but it ain't going to be pretty. Wait! The boys in blue are back! Let's go!
Like Biz from shift to
Put me in, coach!
from game to game, he's like up.
Roll the clips! Roll the clips!
That's right, the boys are back. The old school boys are back on Call of Duty. Biz Nasty said roll the clips. Biz Nasty said roll the clips. I got the clips, man. We gonna roll the clips. And if y'all don't know who that is, that's Paul Bissonnette. Biz Nasty's just a hockey guy, big time Leafs fan, diehard Leafs fan like myself. And that was a clip from him back last playoffs when the Leafs were playing Tampa, and I think they won Game 3 in overtime, and they were going into Game 4, and he was ready for it, right? He was ready for the Leafs to finally make it out of the first round. And then we did, and of course, we won one game in the second round, and we got destroyed, man. Yo, Florida just absolutely punked us that series. I'm actually still salty about that, but anyways, let's get into this Call of Duty. So there was a little tweet making the rounds earlier. Somebody jumped on the old classic Call of Duties on Xbox 360 and they were finding lobbies again. And if you guys don't know, Xbox has been struggling with this for the old classics for a long time now. You guys know this. I've talked about this in many videos, trying to do live comms and all that. I've mentioned it to you guys in videos how hard it was to find lobbies on Xbox for these old classic Call of Duties. You could sit there, like I've actually tested this out. I've sat there for like a half hour and shit on Black Ops 1 on MWII trying to find just a TDM, and you can't find shit because the matchmaking over here is so jacked up. And it looks like one day after the judge rules in favor of the Activision Blizzard Microsoft deal, Activision goes and fixes the matchmaking on all these classic Call of Duties on Xbox. Yo, you can't. I mean, this is what it tells me though, right? Like Activision could have done this so long ago. They left these games in the state that they were because there was a better chance if these games were completely fucked up and people who had an Xbox could not play them because you just straight up could not find a lobby on like any of them except for really Black Ops 2. Black Ops 2 was like pretty much the only game you could actually find lobbies on Xbox for these classics, but that game is infested with cheaters, right? So it's like, yeah, you can find lobbies, but at what cost type deal. On the other games, it was pretty much impossible to find lobbies. They could have fixed this immediately and chose not to, because if they didn't fix it and people straight up could not play the older classic games and they still wanted to get their Call of Duty fixed, there was a good chance that they were just going to go play the newer ones with all the battle passes and microtransactions and all that other horse shit. Fucking Homelander and Starlight and shit. We got little furries and fucking Mickey Mouse skins and Kevin Durant and shit. Like they want them on the newer games buying all that cringy ass shit. They don't want them back here on the old classics actually having fun where they already paid their money. They're not spending any more, right? See, that's the thing. We already paid our money for these games. They already took our money years and years and years ago for these games. They want that new money though. They want you buying that cringy bullshit, toxic bullshit on their newer games, filling up their pockets so fucking Bobby bitch Kodak, prick bitch Kodak Epstein Island can go buy another fucking yacht. And look at this shit. Look at all the hit markers this dude takes. And I was one off the dogs, bro. And he owns my ass with the M16. At least he ain't using Ghost a second chance, man. At least he ain't using Ghost in second chance, but like I was pissed, man. I was one off the motherfucking dogs, bro. But yeah, in this game, I was rusty as hell. I only played the one full game, but I did try every game for you guys though. I hooked up the old Xbox One S that I got laying around here. I did not dust off the 360, but I did dust off the One S. I hooked that up. I tried COD 4. That was the only game that I was not able to find a lobby on. Found a lobby on World at War, even though I got kicked out pretty quick with a connection issue. Like I was saying connection interrupted or whatever and kicked me back to the main menu. I tried MW2, I was able to find a lobby immediately. MW3 was the other one though that has serious problems. Like you can actually find lobbies on that game now, but I was fucking skipping all over the place, man. I might put like a little clip of that in here for you guys. So I tried like all these games just to make sure that you can actually find lobbies on Xbox now, and it looks like you can. Obviously, there's still gonna be cheaters though. I'm pretty sure on that Modern Warfare 3 clip, there was a couple of cheaters in that lobby. We had one dude on my team when I joined that was like 14-0, and then we had the dude that killed me on the opposite team. He was like 16-0 or some shit. So I don't know for sure if they were cheating, but there's probably a good chance that they were cheating with scores like that. It's not possible, obviously, to start games like that, but just with the amount of cheaters that are on these old classic duties, yeah, there was a good chance that they probably were cheating. Obviously, this fix is just for the matchmaking. You're still going to run into cheaters, and you got to remember too, I was trying these games at supper time on a Wednesday in the middle of fucking July, right? Old ass Call of Duty games like this in the middle of July, and I was still able to find lobbies. So imagine trying these on the weekend or primetime hours. Like what is primetime hours? 7, 8 o'clock at night. You jump on these games around that time and you could probably find some lobbies, no sweat, man. So it looks like they fixed the matchmaking, which is great for me, man. Because yeah, I went and bought the PS3 again, but like the PS3, dude, I don't enjoy the PS3. Like for these old classic duties, I always enjoyed playing it on Xbox. On the PS3, if you guys don't know, anybody who doesn't record or upload gameplay or anything like that, the PS3, you cannot record gameplay on that system at all because of the HDCP. You have to buy what's called an HDMI splitter to bypass the HDCP in order to be able to let your capture card record the gameplay so that you can commentate over it and upload it. And the HDMI splitter, like I actually paid decent little money for this. I don't remember how much I paid for it, but I paid like, it was all, I made sure to get one of the better ones that I found. But it like the footage just, in my opinion, it doesn't look great, man. I can't stand the PS3 controller. And when you hook up the PS4 controller to the PS3, there's certain buttons that won't work sometimes and shit like that. It's just a headache, right? But it looks like when you're playing on the PS3, and I always thought this even back in the day too, when the homies be asking me to get on PS3 and play some zombies or whatever, it's like, I always would rather play on Xbox because it's like, it felt like you were looking at your screen through like a fucking fishbowl or some shit, like you were underwater on the PS3, where the Xbox 360 Call of Duties, they just look so much more cleaner, right? And this was a terrible chopper gunner. Everybody, they were smart. The guys I was playing in this lobby, they were smart. They were all hiding in buildings. They were hiding out pretty good. They knew exactly what they were doing. I'm surprised I even got it though, man. I was one kill off the dogs and I got all those hit markers and still got owned on some fucking connection bullshit or whatever. I was so rusty in this game. This was my first game of the session. This was my first game of the day, obviously. And my aim just felt way off. The last time I was gaming, I was playing a little bit of Destiny. And I felt rusty as hell, right? So I wasn't even expecting to have any type of a decent game in this one. Being on Black Ops 1 for the first time in a cool minute. And on the Xbox at that. But I was just so surprised that I found this lobby so quickly. And we were still able to bang out a decent game considering. So for all my people wondering about Call of Duty on Xbox, it looks like we can go back and play all the classics again. Like I said, you will run into cheaters though. That MW2 lobby that I found, I jumped into TDM and when I got into the game, it was search and destroy and I got sniped immediately, like as soon as the game started. There are still cheaters back here. COD 4 was the one game that I could not find a lobby on for like, I gave it like a solid 5 minutes trying and I was only able to find like 3 people. But keep in mind, right, supper time on a Wednesday in the middle of July, it was never going to be easy to find lobbies on that game. But I was still able to find like 2 or 3 people, right? Which is better than any time I've tried before. And I tried TDM and free-for-all. So it definitely looks like Call of Duty is back. Old school Call of Duty is back on the Xbox. And if you're wondering, I did test them on new gen Xbox as well too, and I was actually, this gameplay here, this Black Ops 1 gameplay is on Xbox Series S as well. So it looks like all around we're in decent shape, except for maybe MW3 where you're skipping all over the place, frames dropping like crazy. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. I hope you enjoyed the video.